my name is Angelina.
I'm Wyatt.
I'm Mackenzie.
A case study that we've been learning about is Phineas Gage, and we've read this article about Phineas Gage to answer these questions. Question 1 is, why is Phineas Gage's story important to the neurosciences of today? Phineas Gage's story is important to the neurosciences of today because despite being brain damaged and dealing with intense physical trauma, Phineas survived and proved the fact that the brain is an integral part of personality. He was the first case where you could say fairly definitely that injury to the brain produced some kind of change in personality. This was a big deal in the mid-1800s. The brain's purpose and inner workings were largely a mystery. The case of Phineas Gage would help establish brain science as a field. Question 2 is, which part of the brain was immediately compromised by the explosion? What does damage to this part of the brain result in? The part of Phineas's brain that was immediately compromised by the explosion was the frontal cortex, specifically his left frontal lobe. Damage to the frontal lobe of the brain has been proven to cause a range of symptoms, including motor weakness and behavioral problems. The frontal lobe is important for cognitive functions and control of voluntary movement or activity, so damage to this part of the brain would result in a partial or complete loss in these areas.
So for question 3, it's what does the frontal cortex regulate? Could this account for the change in his personality? If so, if yes, how? And if no, what part of the brain would? So the frontal cortex regulates memory, emotions, impulse control, problem solving, social interaction, and motor function. So yes, this could account for the change in his personality because the frontal cortex does regulate things like emotion and social interaction, also problem solving and impulse control, and that can just completely change someone's personality. For question 4, what other parts of the brain were affected by the explosion? Which areas were hit by the pike, and what were they responsible for? Another part of the brain that was affected was the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is responsible for making sure communication happens between the right and left hemisphere.
For question 5, in your opinion, what was the most shocking part of the story and why? In my opinion, the most shocking part of the story is that just the fact that a metal rod went through his head and he survived. This amazes me because I thought almost like any major damage to the head like that would kill you instantly, especially a metal rod going through your head. What are you laughing at? Anyway, question 6. If you could talk to Phineas Gage today, what is one question you would ask him and why?
What would you ask?
I would ask Phineas Gage if he remembers anything at the point of contact, because in the video he is acting fine due to shock and couldn't feel pain, and I was wondering if that also affected his memory.
Man, that was crazy. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye!
Bye.